right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters. Well, don't look now, but Snow White, not the original good one, but this one, the Disney live action remake that's got some horrific looking seven dwarves in it. And of course, Rachel Zegler, who we're supposed to buy as a fairer looking young lady than Gal Gadot, the evil queen. Yeah. Anyway, we all expect this movie to be an utter disaster. That's certainly the way it's trending. And box office predictions, even more of them are starting to come out, and it's starting to look worse and worse. Rotten Tomato scores are coming in from critics. Critics have a tendency to really, really wrap their loving arms around Disney and try to shelter them. Well, we know they canceled the red carpet premiere. They premiered it incognito, so to speak, in Spain, some off location in Spain, very little press, no Gal Gadot, yada, yada, yada. Rachel Zegler trashing the original, trashing Trump supporters. It's a, it's a, it is a disaster of epic proportions for Disney. It is. And every time one of these happen, we sit back and go, okay, is this going to be the one that gets Disney to course correct so many of their projects, open their eyes, realize identity politics, trashing moviegoers, things of that nature? They are not making you money. They are not helping you as a studio. All right, so let's start out with the Rotten Tomato score over here, all right? Before we dive into this story about the box office. So, this is the critic score right now. It's a 47%. Yikes. I mean, let's click on this. That's not good for Disney at all. So now White tries to achieve a lot, but while the leading ladies try to represent strong female characters, the film's creative objectives do not complement each other's cohesively, marking another miss among Disney's live-action adaptations. Yikes. Where the 1937 film reinvented what animation could achieve, this remake's haphazard blending of live action, mechanical storytelling, and revolting CGI generates weary discomfort over genuine enchantment. This is not going to go well at all. It's not going to go well. And you go on and on from there. There's a couple of tomatoes, but boy, there's not much. I had high hopes for Snow White. Boston Globe, by the way, would make me happy. Instead, this dopey remake made me sleepy and grumpy. Again, 47%. That's a disaster. Somebody brought up Dumbo. I think it might have been this article right here that we're going to get to. And I pulled up Dumbo just to see, and look, guys, Tim Burton did this film. The beloved Tim Burton. It had a cast: Colin Farrell, Michael Keaton, and Danny DeVito. And this thing did not fare well at the box office. 47% from audience, 46% from moviegoers. So that is not a good sign if that's the comparison you got going on here, because they didn't spend nearly as much money making Dumbo. The Disney Grooming Syndicate live-action Snow White remake is looking like a box office bomb, according to various box office, quote, experts. The reported budget for this walking public relations disaster is anywhere from $240 to $270 million, and that's before promotion cost. All in, I'd say Disney is on the hook for at least $350 million. I've seen other outlets say almost $400 million, which means break even will require $650 to $750 million worldwide. Theaters take about half of the ticket sales. Last month, Snow White was projected to open domestically somewhere between 65 and 85 million, which is okay. But as the weeks rolled on and pre-sales became part of the estimates, those estimates dropped as low as 45 million. And guys, I've seen people loading up, for example, the IMAX and some of these kind of at their local theaters to look at the response, and it's nothing but available tickets. It's nothing but available tickets at the. It's not good, which would make it the worst Disney live-action opener ever, a record previously held by Tim Burton's Dumbo. That's why I went and looked it up. Previous Disney live-action remakes had earned much higher domestic openings. The Little Mermaid, 95 million. Jungle Book, 103 million. 2019's Aladdin and the Lion King, 91 and 191 million. Yeah, we can dog out the Lion King all we want, but it made a lot of money, and I actually enjoyed it. That's of all these remakes, it's the only one I've seen that I actually enjoyed. Respectively, Beauty and the Beast, 174 million. Dumbo went on the gross just 353 million worldwide and lost money, even though the cost was about half of what Snow White is. To put it in perspective, when the Marvels opened in 2023 to 46 million, that was seen as a catastrophe. The Marvels went on to a humiliating 84.5 million domestic gross, with only 121.6 million accumulated overseas. Disney and Marvel lost a fortune. Current expectations for Snow White, total worldwide opening gross is $100 million. To put that in perspective, last month, Captain America Brave New World opened worldwide to almost twice that amount, $192 million, and is still seen as yet another Disney Marvel disappointment. Currently, Brave New World is pretty much out of box office gas, sits at $390 million globally, which means it will lose a fortune. Jesus. That you open to almost 200 million and you only gross about double that overall. Yikes. Disney's final hope on public relations front for Snow White was the reviews. After 2 years of Disney and Snow White star Rachel Zegler stepping on one rake after another in what seemed like a coordinated plan to alienate every Snow White fan on the planet, a flood of glowing reviews might have saved the day, but it was not to be. Disney's last hope is word of mouth. If those who see it on opening weekend universally love it, that could reverse the current fortunes. When Mufasa, the Lion King, opened last December to just 35 million in weak reviews, it looked hopeless. Then it went on to gross a respectable 250 million domestically, 717 million globally. It was aided enormously by the Christmas holidays. Well, and that's a big deal, okay? All right, these movies getting released over Christmas holidays because all these kids are out of school. They're very long tail movies. All right, those movies tend to have very strong, like 6-week kind of runs at the box office day in and day out. And yeah, a movie that doesn't open as big over the course of time during that time period may actually gross real money. All right. But even at that, again, 717 million worldwide, which seems like there's no chance of that happening with this film. That would still, you barely would break even or you wouldn't break even. And there's no way this movie's making that much money. Again, guys, it was pretty common 10 years ago for these big blockbusters to gross $1 billion. And look at them. None of them are even flirting with $1 billion anymore. That is an indictment of these actors and actresses being highly unlikable, blatant politics, blatant agendas, and all of that given precedent over good storytelling. People have gotten fed up with shoddy, crappy storytelling and race swapping. Let me just keep it real. I mean, honestly, yeah. If Disney race swaps one more ginger, redhead, I mean, you think we can't blatantly see that? Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Snow White's a nightmare. Till next time.